Did you know that if your profession alt is the wrong race, you might never make a profit with a profession in Dragonflight? We're going to talk about why today, and which recipes this is relevant for. Because we theorized before Dragonflight launched that these profession racials, the ones that give you +5 skill, that they would be incredibly impactful. Like for instance, this Nightborn, which has the Ancient History passive, which means that I get +5 inscription skill. There's a bunch of +5 skills, and for some items they have an huge effect, which I've severely underestimated. I'm going to talk about why. The reason why is because of something called hidden skill value, which I made a whole separate video about. The quick news about hidden skill value is essentially you can get between 0 and 5% of the recipe difficulty as extra skill. So for a 400 skill or 400 difficulty recipe, that means you can get up to 20 extra skill when you craft it. So if you're within 20 skill of the recipe difficulty, you will sometimes get a max quality item even when you don't get an inspiration proc. This means, of course, that getting a lot of skills, you're really close to the recipe difficulty, can have a large effect on profitability for inspiration-based items because it increases the number of max quality items, which are typically a lot more expensive than the quality 2 items. So it means that in a lot of cases, with enchanting, for instance, getting extra skill can be very valuable because you can potentially get very, very close to the hidden skill value thresholds and start getting extra procs. I'm just below here actually, and this is where we get into why this is so important and what types of recipes this is so important for. This matters for recipes where you can't guarantee quality 3. Well, it can matter in some cases if you're able to guarantee quality 3 with the +5 extra skill, but so far I haven't found any. I haven't tested everything because I don't have all knowledge on all professions. But this is mostly important in recipes where you can't guarantee max quality and you need inspiration procs to get more, to get quality 3, and then you sell the quality 2s at a loss. So that means the more quality 3 procs you get, the better, and if you can get into hidden skill value territory and get hidden skill value procs, that increases your rate of quality 3 items. That's going to massively increase the average profit. That's going to increase it by a very significant margin. So I realized this when the other day on stream, because I was crafting the fauna runes, these weapon runes with inscription, and I typically do this with the quality 2 materials. I don't have any on me right now, but with the quality 2 materials, my skill is 295, which means that I get a lot of hidden skill value procs because I'm really close to the recipe difficulty. And typically the quality 2 chilled runes are quite a bit cheaper, right? They're usually significantly cheaper than the quality 3s. So as of right now, they're 50 gold less. So that decreases my crafting cost by a pretty significant margin. And then I realized that this is only possible because I have the +5 skill from being a Nightborn. If I wasn't a Nightborn, this would be a lot worse. So here I've found my hidden skill value calculator. And we can see that without the Nightborn racial, I would be at 290 skill and 25% inspiration, which means I would still get hidden skill value procs. I could still proc max quality, but with 290, I would be getting max quality 50% of the time. Whereas since I'm at 295, I can now get max quality at 75% of the time, which is a pretty significant difference. That's a pretty significant difference, right? And if we look at we can look at the prices, right? These prices right here. If we're talking 55 gold for the max quality one, and well, 2 gold right now for the quality 4 or quality 2, and we see that if I'm at 290 skill, my average the average value of a craft is 28.5 gold, or the average value per the average value per craft, or per rune. You actually get 2, so you should double these. And with my stats, we're getting 41 gold, so that's 13 more gold per rune on average. which translates to a lot of gold on a craft with 100 gold crafting cost and a 5 gold profit. If we can increase that profit by 10, 15, 20 gold, and this is something that takes you a second to craft and you can sell huge amounts of really quickly, like I am right now, by the way. Like I just posted a bunch earlier as I logged on. Then yeah, you're gonna make a lot more profit. So this is just very, very important. So fauna runes, this is one example. I have on inscription, I have pretty much everything here unlocked. So I'm crafting these at peak efficiency. Then I also have an enchanter on this same character, right? And here I have all of the skill knowledge possible for certain recipes. And the highest I can get is 402 without the racial, which is just outside of hidden skill value range. Just outside. So this is very interesting because the recipe skill here is 425 and I'm 402. My inspiration rate is 38% when I pop incense, and then you can get 407. And look at the difference here. Well, actually, this is calculates a little bit wrong when you're below hidden skill value. So it's 38% versus 47%. That's a pretty big difference. If we just take this example now, so this one's going to be 38% and this one's going to be 47.48. Actually, I think this... yeah, I have to do this manually. And then we write the 118 and 5 gold. We can see that once again we're increasing the average profit by 10 gold, or the average value by 10 gold by almost 20%. 20% increased average value by getting into hidden skill value territory. So this +5 skill, I mean, if you're getting 20% more value on something that sells really quickly, has really thin margins on the region-wide auction house, that's obviously going to be completely game-breaking, right? So yeah, for anything where you can get close to but not quite reach max difficulty, or recipe difficulty, or if you maybe can reach max difficulty with the +5 skill, and this is something that you sell on the auction house, then this is going to matter. So this isn't going to matter for, say, weapon crafting or whatever, because people, even if you do a lot of crafting orders, people in trade chat, they don't know your exact proc rate, and they're probably not going to like verify, okay, do you have 1% extra chance of getting a quality 3 or quality 5 weapon right away. Some people might be discerning, most people just want to get it done, so by the time they've started talking to you and agreed a fee, they don't really care. Now the dirty little secret is that it's probably in your best interest to have a lower rate of inspiration, so you get more chances of yoinking their materials with resourcefulness, but that's a little bit unethical. But it doesn't matter for crafting orders. This does matter for stuff you sell on the auction house with low margins, and where you can get to the 407, where you can get within the hidden skill value. So the one thing I haven't tested, because I don't have enough knowledge on my alchemist, is if this applies to alchemy as well. It applies to enchanting, for sure. Enchanting is now to the point where if your enchanter isn't a blood elf, I honestly think that the only thing you can really do with enchanting outside of with non-blood elves is like craft the crests with resourcefulness procs, and I think that you're probably never going to make any meaningful profit. The only other thing you can do as a non-blood elf is to use metal for max rank, for guaranteed max ranks, which is fairly profitable. So the races you want to be: inscription, if you want to do fauna runes, then you need to be a Nightborn. Enchanting, that's blood elf. Alchemy, that's goblin. Those are the 3 most important professions. There are some other professions with +5 bonuses where this can have an effect, but those are the important ones. And if you're not those races for those specific markets, then you're gonna never compete with people who are. That's just how it is. So if you want to re-roll, that's probably way too time consuming. More realistic is perhaps a race change, but that's gonna put money in Blizzard's pocket, or cost you a bunch of gold if you're already rich. But that is the world we're living in. Having the right race, incredibly important for certain types of items.